We swept into the Sol system with the righteous fury of 1,000 suns. Our fleet, a dazzling armada of bioluminescent cruisers, pulsated with the collective energy of the krill. We were the apex predators of the Orion arm, a species that had clawed its way to the top through eons of ruthless evolution and conquest. Our technology, a fusion of organic and synthetic, was the envy of countless civilizations. We were, or so we believed, the pinnacle of existence. I am Xylara, a commander of the krill fleet and a fervent believer in our superiority. My exoskeleton, a shimmering tapestry of iridescent scales, bore the intricate markings of my rank and lineage. My 4 multifaceted eyes, each capable of perceiving a different spectrum of light, had witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of stars. Yet, I had never encountered a species that could match the krill in intellect, adaptability, or sheer will to dominate. Our mission was simple: to establish a new foothold in this uncharted territory, to expand the krill domain and bring the lesser species under our benevolent rule. We had intercepted transmissions from this system, faint whispers of a primitive civilization clinging to a pale blue dot. The humans, as they called themselves, were barely a blip on our galactic radar, a fledgling species barely out of their technological infancy. We descended upon their world with an arrogance born of ignorance, our sensors sweeping across their continents, our probes dissecting their atmosphere. We saw their cities, sprawling concrete jungles teeming with billions of these fragile creatures. We saw their technology, crude machines powered by fossil fuels and rudimentary nuclear reactors. We saw their weapons, pitiful projectiles and explosive devices that pose no threat to our advanced shielding. We dismissed them as insignificant, a mere footnote in the annals of our conquests. We prepared to make contact, to announce our arrival and offer them the privilege of joining the krill collective. We expected them to grovel at our feet, to offer their planet and their resources as tribute. We expected them to embrace our superior wisdom and guidance. But we were wrong. So very wrong. Our first contact team, a delegation of our most esteemed scientists and diplomats, was met with hostility and defiance. The humans, instead of bowing before us, launched a barrage of missiles and energy beams, their pitiful weapons barely scratching our hulls. We retaliated, our cruisers unleashing a devastating salvo of plasma cannons, reducing their defenses to molten slag. We expected them to surrender, to beg for mercy. But they did not. Instead, they launched a counterattack, their ships swarming around us like angry hornets. Their technology, which we had dismissed as primitive, suddenly transformed before our very eyes. Their ships shimmered with an unseen energy, their weapons pulsed with an unknown force. Our shields flickered, then failed. Our hulls buckled, then ruptured. Our cruisers, once the pride of the krill fleet, were reduced to burning wreckage. The humans, the insignificant, primitive humans, had defeated us. I watched in horror as my comrades perished, their bioluminescent bodies extinguished one by one. I felt my own exoskeleton crack, my internal fluids leaking into the vacuum of space. I knew my time was short, my life force ebbing away. But even in my dying moments, I could not comprehend what had happened. How could the humans, a species we had deemed so inferior, possess such advanced technology? How could they have hidden their true capabilities from us? My last thought, before the darkness claimed me, was a question that would haunt my species for generations to come. What else are the humans hiding? I awoke to a searing pain, a sensation I had never experienced before. My vision flickered, my senses scrambled. Instead of the familiar hum of our organic technology, I heard a rhythmic beeping, a mechanical pulse that grated against my auditory receptors. My eyes, finally adjusting to the dim light, took in an alien environment. Gone were the smooth, organic curves of our krill cruisers. Instead, I found myself surrounded by cold, hard metal, sharp angles, and glowing screens filled with incomprehensible symbols. A wave of nausea washed over me as I realized I was no longer aboard a krill vessel but within a human vessel. The humans had captured me, a lone survivor of the disastrous first contact. I had been salvaged from the wreckage, my broken body repaired with their alien technology. A wave of shame washed over me as I realized they had not only defeated us but had also mastered our biology to a degree we had never imagined possible. As my strength returned, I began to observe my captors. They were bipedal, their skin a pale, fleshy hue compared to our shimmering scales. Their eyes, 2 instead of our 4, were dull and lifeless compared to our multifaceted orbs. Yet, despite their seemingly primitive appearance, they moved with a confidence and purpose that belied their fragile forms. They studied me, their eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and caution. They spoke to me in their guttural language, their words a harsh cacophony compared to the melodic chirps and whistles of the krill. I could not understand them, but I could sense their intelligence, their thirst for knowledge. Days turned into weeks as I remained their captive, my body slowly healing under their care. I learned to eat their food, a bland, mushy substance that lacked the vibrant flavors of our nutrient-rich algae. I learned to tolerate their gravity, a crushing force compared to the gentle embrace of our homeworld. And I learned to communicate with them. They taught me their language, their symbols, their concepts. At first, I resisted, clinging to the belief in our superiority. But as I delved deeper into their knowledge, my arrogance began to crumble. Their technology, which I had once dismissed as primitive, was far more advanced than anything we had ever encountered. Their understanding of physics, of energy, of matter, was beyond our wildest dreams. They had harnessed the power of the stars, bending space and time to their will. They had created machines that could travel faster than light, weapons that could obliterate entire planets. And they had done it all without the guidance of the Krill, without the benefit of our superior intellect and wisdom. The realization was both humbling and terrifying. The humans, the species we had underestimated, had surpassed us in every way. They were not the primitive creatures we had believed them to be. They were a force to be reckoned with, a power that could reshape the galaxy. As I learned more about them, I began to understand their motives, their fears, their dreams. They were a young species, filled with a boundless curiosity and a thirst for exploration. They were also a cautious species, scarred by the horrors of war and the threat of extinction. They saw the Krill as a potential threat, a rival for dominance in the galaxy. But they also saw us as a potential ally, a partner in the quest for knowledge and understanding. They were willing to extend a hand of friendship, but only if we were willing to meet them as equals, to abandon our arrogance and embrace the possibility of coexistence. The choice was ours. We could continue to cling to our delusions of grandeur, to fight a losing war against a superior foe. Or we could swallow our pride, learn from our mistakes, and forge a new path forward. The future of the Krill, the fate of our species, hung in the balance. And as I stood before my captors, the weight of that responsibility heavy on my shoulders, I knew that the decision I made would have consequences that would echo through the ages. My decision was not made lightly. Days turned into nights as I wrestled with the implications of my choice. The humans, with their patience wearing thin, grew increasingly wary. They saw my hesitation as defiance, a refusal to accept their dominance. Yet, they continued to treat me with a modicum of respect, a testament to their curious nature and their hope for peaceful resolution. Finally, I requested an audience with their leaders, the ones they called the Council of Nations. They granted my request, their curiosity piqued by my sudden shift in demeanor. I stood before them, a lone Krill amidst a sea of human faces, their eyes fixed on me with a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. In their language, which I had painstakingly mastered, I addressed them. I spoke of the Krill's history, our conquests, our pride. I spoke of our mistakes, our arrogance, our blindness. I spoke of the humans' technological prowess, their potential for greatness, their capacity for compassion. And then, I made a proposition that would forever alter the course of galactic history. I offered the humans a partnership, an alliance between our two species. I proposed a joint venture to explore the galaxy, to share knowledge and resources, to work together for the betterment of all sentient beings. My words were met with stunned silence. The humans, caught off guard by my unexpected offer, exchanged bewildered glances. Then, a murmur rose from the crowd, a wave of whispers and hushed conversations. The council members leaned towards each other, their faces etched with deep thought. After what seemed like an eternity, the leader of the council, a woman with wise eyes and a gentle smile, stepped forward. She spoke of the humans' history, their struggles, their aspirations. She spoke of their desire for peace, their hope for a brighter future. And then, she accepted my offer. The room erupted in cheers and applause. The humans, overjoyed by the prospect of peace and cooperation, embraced me as a friend, an ally. I felt a warmth spread through my exoskeleton, a feeling of hope and camaraderie I had never experienced before. But little did we know, a shadow lurked in the depths of space, a threat that would test the strength of our newfound alliance. A rogue faction of the Krill, led by a fanatical warlord named Clytus, had learned of my actions. They saw my peace offering as a betrayal, a surrender to a weaker species. Clytus and his followers, fueled by rage and a thirst for vengeance, launched a surprise attack on Earth. Their fleet, a swarm of bioluminescent warships, descended upon the unsuspecting planet, their weapons blazing. The humans, caught off guard, fought back valiantly, but they were no match for the overwhelming firepower of the Krill renegades. As the battle raged, I made a decision that would forever seal my fate. I contacted Clytus, using the human's communication technology, and challenged him to a duel. I knew that I could not defeat him in a direct confrontation, but I hoped to appeal to his sense of honor, to his Krill heritage. Clytus, arrogant and eager to prove his superiority, accepted my challenge. We met on a neutral planet, a barren wasteland devoid of life. Our duel was swift and brutal, our weapons clashing in a shower of sparks and energy. In the end, I was defeated. Clytus, with a triumphant roar, raised his blade to deliver the final blow. But before he could strike, a blinding flash of light engulfed us both. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a strange place, a realm of swirling colors and ethereal music. Before me stood a being of pure energy, its form shifting and shimmering like 1,000 stars. It spoke to me, its voice a chorus of celestial harmonies. It told me that I was not truly a Krill, but a hybrid, a fusion of Krill and human DNA. It explained that I had been created as a bridge between our two species, a symbol of unity and hope. And then, it gave me a choice. I could return to the physical world, to continue my mission of peace and reconciliation. Or I could remain in this ethereal realm, to become one with the cosmic consciousness. My decision was immediate and unwavering. I chose to return, to fulfill my destiny as a bridge between the stars. As I opened my eyes, I found myself back on the barren planet, my body healed and my spirit renewed. Clytus and his followers were gone, their fleet vanished without a trace. The war was over, the threat of the Krill renegades extinguished. The humans, overjoyed by my return and the defeat of their enemies, welcomed me as a hero, a savior. But I knew that my true mission had just begun. With the help of the humans, I established a new order, a Krill-human alliance based on mutual respect, cooperation, and the pursuit of knowledge. Together, we explored the galaxy, shared our technologies, and forged a new era of peace and prosperity. And as I looked out at the stars, I knew that the future was bright, the possibilities endless. For I was Xylara, the bridge between the stars, and my journey had only just begun. As the dust settled from the Clytus conflict, a strange tranquility descended upon the galaxy. The Krill and humans, once adversaries, now stood united against a common threat. This unity, however, was fragile, built upon the ashes of war and the hope for a better future. The Krill-human alliance, still in its infancy, faced numerous challenges. The Krill, accustomed to hierarchy and conquest, struggled to adapt to the humans' democratic ideals and emphasis on individual freedom. The humans, wary of the Krill's past aggression, grappled with the idea of trusting a former enemy. I found myself at the center of this cultural maelstrom, a bridge between two vastly different worlds. I became a diplomat, a mediator, a translator of both language and culture. I traveled between Krill and human settlements, fostering understanding, dispelling misconceptions, and building trust. It was a slow and arduous process, fraught with setbacks and misunderstandings. But gradually, the seeds of unity began to take root. Krill scientists collaborated with human engineers, developing new technologies that blended the best of both worlds. Krill warriors trained alongside human soldiers, learning new tactics and strategies for mutual defense. And as the years passed, a new generation emerged, a generation that knew nothing of the old animosity between our species. Krill and human children played together, learned together, and dreamed together. They saw each other not as aliens, but as friends, as companions on a shared journey through the cosmos. Yet, even as the alliance flourished, a nagging question lingered in my mind. What had caused the sudden disappearance of Clytus and his fleet? The human sensors had detected no trace of them, no wreckage, no energy signatures. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. This mystery gnawed at me, a constant reminder of the unknown dangers that lurked in the depths of space. I knew that the Krill-human alliance, for all its promise, was still vulnerable, still susceptible to unforeseen threats. My fears were confirmed when a distress signal reached us from a distant star system. A human exploration vessel, venturing into uncharted territory, had encountered a strange anomaly, a spatial distortion that had pulled them into an unknown dimension. The humans, fearing the worst, turned to me for help. They knew of my unique abilities, my connection to the cosmic consciousness. They hoped that I could use my powers to rescue their lost crew. I did not hesitate. I gathered a team of Krill and human experts, and we set off on a rescue mission into the unknown. Our journey took us through a swirling vortex of energy, a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds that defied description. We emerged into a bizarre realm, a dimension where the laws of physics seemed to bend and twist. The stars were different here, their light distorted and their constellations unrecognizable. The planets were strange and alien, their landscapes sculpted by forces beyond our comprehension. And at the center of this strange dimension, we found the missing human vessel, trapped in a pocket of warped space-time. But we also found something else, something far more sinister. Clytus and his fleet were here, their ships transformed into grotesque, organic monstrosities. They had not vanished, but had been mutated by the energies of this alien dimension. They were no longer krill, but something else entirely, something twisted and malevolent. They attacked us without warning, their weapons spewing a torrent of dark energy. Our shields held, but barely. We fought back, our combined krill-human technology pushing their mutated vessels to their limits. But we were outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched. Our only hope was to escape, to return to our own dimension and warn the others of this new threat. As we made our desperate retreat, I felt a surge of energy within me, a power that dwarfed anything I had ever experienced before. The cosmic consciousness, sensing my need, had granted me a temporary boost of its infinite power. I unleashed this power upon Clytus and his fleet, a wave of pure energy that engulfed their mutated vessels. The dark energy that had transformed them was purged, their ships reverting to their original forms. But the damage was done. Clytus and his followers were gone, their bodies disintegrated by the overwhelming power. Their fleet, crippled and leaderless, drifted aimlessly through the alien dimension. We escaped, our ship battered but intact. We returned to our own dimension, carrying with us the knowledge of this new threat. The Krill-Human Alliance, now more united than ever, prepared for the inevitable conflict. But as I looked out at the stars, I knew that our journey was far from over. The galaxy was a vast and mysterious place, filled with wonders and dangers beyond our wildest dreams. And the Krill-Human Alliance, a beacon of hope in a chaotic universe, would continue to explore, to learn, and to evolve. For we were the children of the stars, the inheritors of a boundless universe. And our destiny was to reach for the heavens, to embrace the unknown, and to forge a new path for all sentient beings. The aftermath of the encounter in the warped dimension left the Alliance in a state of heightened alert. We knew that the threat of Clytus' mutated fleet was not entirely extinguished. The possibility of their return, or the emergence of other unknown dangers from that twisted realm, loomed over us like a dark cloud. I became obsessed with understanding the nature of that other dimension, driven by a need to protect both krill and humans from its potential horrors. I delved into ancient krill texts, consulted with human scientists, and even sought guidance from the enigmatic cosmic consciousness. My research led me to a startling discovery. The warped dimension, it seemed, was not a random anomaly, but a deliberate creation. It was a prison, a containment zone designed to isolate a powerful and malevolent entity known as the Void. The Void, according to krill legend, was an ancient being of pure darkness, a devourer of worlds and a corrupter of souls. It had been banished to the warped dimension eons ago by a coalition of advanced civilizations, its power deemed too dangerous to exist in the normal universe. But the Void was not idle in its prison. It sought to escape, to unleash its darkness upon the unsuspecting galaxy. It had corrupted Clytus and his followers, twisting them into monstrous parodies of their former selves. And it was now seeking new pawns, new agents to carry out its nefarious will. The Krill-Human Alliance, I realized, was the Void's next target. It saw our unity, our strength, as a threat to its plans for galactic domination. It sought to divide us, to sow discord and distrust, to weaken us from within. I knew that I had to act, to warn the Alliance of this impending danger. But time was running out. The Void's influence was spreading, its tendrils of darkness reaching out to corrupt the minds and hearts of those who were susceptible to its insidious whispers. I gathered the leaders of the Alliance, krill and human alike, and presented them with the evidence of the Void's existence and its malevolent intentions. I spoke of the need for vigilance, for unity, for unwavering resolve in the face of this existential threat. My words were met with a mixture of disbelief and alarm. Some dismissed my warnings as paranoia, a delusion born of my traumatic experiences in the warped dimension. Others, however, recognized the truth in my words, the urgency in my voice. A council was convened, a gathering of the wisest and most powerful minds of the Alliance. They debated, they argued, they wrestled with the implications of my revelations. But in the end, they reached a consensus. The Krill-Human Alliance would not cower in fear. We would not allow the Void to divide us, to conquer us. We would stand together, as one, against this ancient evil. A plan was devised, a bold and ambitious strategy to confront the Void in its own dimension. We would gather our forces, our most advanced technology, our bravest warriors, and launch a preemptive strike against the Void before it could escape its prison. The mission was fraught with peril, the risks immeasurable. But we knew that the fate of the galaxy, the future of all sentient beings, depended on our success. As I stood on the bridge of the flagship, a krill-human hybrid vessel that embodied the spirit of our alliance, I looked out at the vast expanse of stars. I felt a surge of determination, a renewed sense of purpose. For I was Xylara, the bridge between the stars, the champion of unity, the defender of the galaxy. And I would not rest until the void was vanquished, its darkness banished forever. The journey ahead would be long and arduous, filled with challenges and sacrifices. But I knew that we were not alone. We had each other, the krill and the humans, bound together by a shared destiny. And together we would face the void, the ultimate test of our courage, our resilience, and our unwavering belief in the power of unity. As the Alliance mobilized its forces, I delved deeper into the mysteries of the void. The cosmic consciousness, my enigmatic guide, revealed that the void was not merely a destructive entity but a parasite, feeding on the negative emotions of sentient beings, fear, anger, despair. This realization sparked a new strategy. We couldn't simply defeat the void with brute force, we had to starve it of its sustenance. We began a campaign of unity and hope, broadcasting messages of solidarity and resilience throughout the galaxy. We shared stories of cooperation, tales of triumph over adversity, and songs of a brighter future. But the void was cunning. It retaliated by amplifying the whispers of doubt and division. It exploited existing tensions between krill and humans, sowing seeds of discord and mistrust. It even attempted to infiltrate our minds, preying on our deepest fears and insecurities. I felt its insidious presence, a cold tendril slithering through the back of my consciousness. It whispered promises of power, temptations of revenge, and visions of a universe ruled by darkness. I fought back with all my might, drawing strength from the love and trust of my krill and human companions. Yet, the void's influence continued to spread, its poison infecting the hearts and minds of the vulnerable. Isolated incidents of violence erupted, fueled by fear and suspicion. The fragile unity we had so painstakingly built seemed to be crumbling under the weight of the void's insidious machinations. Despite these setbacks, we pressed on with our preparations for the final confrontation. We assembled a fleet of krill bioorganic cruisers and human starships, equipped with experimental weapons designed to disrupt the void's energy. We trained a special task force, composed of the most skilled krill warriors and human soldiers, to infiltrate the warped dimension and deliver the final blow. As the day of departure approached, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. We knew that we were embarking on a perilous journey, a gamble with the fate of the galaxy. Yet, we also knew that we had no other choice. The void had to be stopped, no matter the cost. I stood on the bridge of the flagship, surrounded by my krill and human comrades. We exchanged solemn glances, our hearts heavy with the weight of our responsibility. The countdown to launch echoed through the ship, each tick of the clock a reminder of the approaching storm. And then, it happened. The sensors blared a warning, a chilling sound that sent shivers down our spines. A massive energy surge, originating from the warped dimension, rippled through space-time, engulfing our fleet in a blinding light. When my vision cleared, I saw a sight that filled me with dread. The void had emerged from its prison, its monstrous form dwarfing our ships. It was a swirling vortex of darkness, crackling with malevolent energy. A wave of despair washed over me. Had we been too late? Was the galaxy doomed to fall under the void's dominion? But then, I heard a voice, a familiar voice that resonated with warmth and determination. It was the voice of my human friend, Captain Anya Petrova, the commander of the task force. "We may be outmatched," she said, her voice echoing through the ship's communication system, "but we are not outfought. We are the Krill-Human Alliance, and we will not surrender to the darkness. We will fight for our future, for our freedom, for the light that burns within us all." Her words ignited a spark of hope in my heart. I looked around at my comrades, their faces etched with grim determination. I saw the fire of defiance burning in their eyes, the unyielding spirit that had brought us this far. I knew then that we were not defeated, not yet. We had a chance, a slim chance, to turn the tide of this battle. And we would seize it with every ounce of our being. "For the Alliance," I roared, my voice joining Anya's in a chorus of defiance. And with a surge of adrenaline, we charged into the heart of darkness, ready to face our destiny.